Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'll be doing a movie review for you guys. So the movie I'm reviewing today is Paranormal Activity. So welcome to day 24 of the 31 Days of Halloween. It has been a journey and it's almost over, so I hope you guys are still enjoying all my videos. But let's get into Paranormal Activity. This is a movie that I saw when it came out in theaters in 2009. I went with my mom because 2009, I was in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade. So I definitely couldn't go see this because it was R-rated. But there was a specific reason I wanted to go see it, because I was like, my name is going to be in the credits of this movie. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I convinced my mom to take me, and we went, and I was pretty spooked the first time I watched it. You'll see a little bit later how I feel about it now, but it definitely was a really intense movie, and everyone was talking about it, so there was like a lot of hype behind it. Let's get into the synopsis. So this is a very simple movie. The premise is that we have two main characters. I don't know if they're married or they're dating, but we have Katie and we have Mika. And they are experiencing some weird things in their house. I think it's mostly just misplaced items. And Mika decides that he's going to go and buy a camera. And, okay, this is like a big-ass camera. Like, it's not like this little handheld camera that you can use. It's like professional movie-grade camera, which is kind of weird, but whatever. And he decides that they are going to start filming everything and see if they can catch anything on camera. Because at first they think that it is some random neighbor kid that's coming into the house and kind of messing stuff around. But Katie seems to think that it might be something else, something paranormal, because she's had these kind of experiences for a good portion of her life. So they use the camera and they end up finding some really interesting things throughout the course of this movie. And that's where I'm going to leave the synopsis. So let's talk about the good things about this movie before I get into some of the bad things. So I think that the entire story behind this movie is really cool, and how Oren Peli basically did this in like such a low budget and was able to, at one point, I don't know if it still is, but the most profitable movie ever made, which is kind of crazy. I think that this movie does have some really great scares. I think that many of the things that happen while we're in like night vision mode watching them sleep, I think that those are pretty creepy, and they were a little less effective after I've watched it before and I kind of knew what to expect, but for the most part I think that they still have a little gravitas to them. They're still a little bit creepy. So I really do want to commend Paranormal Activity for reinventing the genre. This movie came out at a time when we were at the tail end of the remake era. We were at the tail end of the torture porn area. And this really paved the way for a lot of the things that we start getting in the 2010s, which were like ghosts, paranormal stuff. We have Insidious. I think this really paved the way for the new era of James Wan, where we have the Insidious movies, we have the Conjuring movies, and we really saw the effects of Paranormal Activity throughout the 2010s. So I really do commend it on reinventing that. Also reinventing like a mainstream found footage genre. Because we had basically the start of the modern found footage era, which was Blair Witch Project, but we didn't really have any mainstream found footage movies between the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. And so when Paranormal Activity came out, there were all kinds of more mainstream found footage movies. We had movies like The Gallows and stuff like that where we got this more mainstream found footage stuff. So I thought that that was pretty interesting. Now let's get into the bad. I think that this movie does not really have a rewatchability factor. I have not seen the movie since I saw it in theaters in 2009. I may have watched it once when it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, but other than that, I have not seen it since, and I still remember almost all of the scares and everything like that, and they weren't as effective rewatching it this time. I was just kind of a little bit bored throughout this movie, and I was like, I don't know. It's really hard because I did really want to like it because I remember really liking it when I saw it in theaters. It's also a very slow burn. There's like not a ton going on. And I think that this movie has a little bit of an issue with keeping the suspense up. Because the way that it's put together is we have separate days. So we have like the daytime of them talking about whatever, and then we have the nighttime where we see something happening, but then it just repeats itself. So after we see like the scare, it goes into the daytime again where they're like reviewing the footage and they're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of crazy. And I think that it diminishes the suspense that you feel, and it doesn't really keep you on the edge of your seat for that long. I mean, you get the door opening or something like that, but then it's just like more lighthearted stuff. So you don't really have this like prolonged exposure to the scary material, which I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity. Before I finish this review, I do want to mention the credits. Somewhere between 2007 when this premiered at Screamfest and 2009 when it came in theaters, I received an email, a promotional email saying, if you want to see Paranormal Activity in your theaters, get a wide release, you need to demand it. And it was some weird website that I don't think is around anymore, or they don't really do much stuff, but you could like demand, and it's kind of like a change.org petition type thing saying, we want whatever. So they could be like, look at theater owners, these people really want this, and you should have our movie in theaters. So I signed up for that, and then I got an email somewhere along the line that said, if you want your name put in the credits of this movie, sign up for it right here. So I didn't really think anything of it. I signed up for it, and then at the end of the movie, there's like a title screen that says, thank you to the following fans for their support of the Paranormal Activity film. And then it goes through 15 minutes of credits to people who signed up to have their name put in the credits. And so I scrolled through and ended up finding my name, and I just thought that was kind of cool. It goes by very fast, and there are a lot of names, so it isn't like super special, I guess, but it is still kind of fun to, every time I watch this movie, which admittedly isn't very much, to wait for those credits to happen and then find my name. So I'm going to end with my rating of this movie. On this viewing, I decided to give this movie a bit of a low score. I gave it a 2.5. I do really appreciate it for everything it's done for the horror genre, but I think that it might not hold up as well as when it did when it first came out, and rewatching it definitely did not really help that much. So that was a bit of a disappointment. I would be really interested to know if you've never seen it, if you watch it, if you think that it's scary still, or if I'm just like some jaded horror fan who has seen a lot scarier stuff and doesn't really get scared by stuff as much as I did when I was in middle school. So that is it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Paranormal Activity, if you've seen it, whether you like it or you don't like it, and why. And remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye.